mean, I'm a clean guy.
So if you admit that you did acid, it would hurt who?
Undermine your argument?
Well, yeah, then Howard would say, well, that's why he's so paranoid.
No. I wouldn't say that.
No,
I did acid. I mean, it was the biggest mistake of my life.
I'm high on reality.
LSD was the biggest mistake of my life. It really was. It was a huge mistake. I tried it in college. I took 4 hits one night, and it really screwed me bad. I mean, I'm glad.
Well, that's why you way overdid it.
I did. I took 4 hits of window paint.
Alex apparently knows.
And I'm very anti-drug as a result.
I've never done it.
You know a little too much about it, honestly. Alex's show is at Infowars.com. You don't miss Alex's nightly news program.
I've got to check this out because
he's an
I want to know
guy.
what's going on.
At prisonplanet.tv. When you
know what I want to know? How does he?
Glenn Beck, if I could. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait a minute, but how does he? Do you let your children go to a regular school, or do you homeschool? What do you do?
Homeschool, you gotta be.
Sure, I want to say this. Hillary says kids that are homeschooled are shut-ins. It's the opposite. Quite frankly, it's almost an elitist thing nowadays, and I feel bad for folks that, don't have the money to have somebody stay at home and take care of the kids. But, I mean, it is doctors, lawyers, scientists, artists. I mean, my children are homeschooled.
Who teaches them? Your wife?
And 5. Yes, my wife. But really, there's all these homeschooling events. Something like 9% of Austin, where I live, is now homeschooled. And it's just constant events and sporting events and spelling bees. But
I would think it's exhausting to homeschool kids.
It actually is exhausting. In fact, I'll be honest. I mean, it's good when they're really little so that they can stay innocent, because then they can actually develop their creativity. But
do you have any fun, Alex? I mean, did you watch the Academy Awards? Or would you do something frivolous like that? Or are you constantly involved with political stuff?
Listen, here's why I can't watch the Academy Awards. I know Zero Dark 30 is a bunch of torture porn fiction. You don't think that happened? Having Michelle Obama shoved down my throat. I mean, for me, seeing the propaganda, Howard, it's torture. No, it's not real. It's all fake.
Well, let me understand something. Do you think Osama bin Laden was killed during the
when we found out?
When do you think he got? Well, do you think he's alive?
Well, I mean, here's the issue. See, let me just go back for a moment.
You really don't believe they killed him?
Let me just break this down.
Go ahead.
Okay, I said day one with Dr. Steve Pachinik, who was the former head of the State Department and CIA psychological operations. He's the guy that got the Anwar Sadat deal at Camp David. He's the guy that, I mean, he's super famous. He's the guy that co-wrote Tom Clancy's books, okay? I can probably get him on for you if he wants. He's pretty reclusive.
I just want to go on record as saying, I think Osama right now is being eaten by gay fish and suicidal shrimp. I think he's in that water right now.
He's the bisexual shrimp, or
I believe they're sucking his dick right now. But go ahead, Alex. You.
Hey, did you guys search engine the suicidal shrimp to find out I'm not lying?
No, I haven't done it yet. But
not yet. We're going to go home and do homework.
Shrimp on treadmills.
Did you?
Shrimp on treadmills.
Benji, what's it say about suicidal shrimp?
Yeah, no, I looked it up. It's he talked about now their intention might not be suicide, but like he said, they swim.
They go out of their minds when they swim to where they're not protected.
Right.
There you go.
Did you look up suicidal fish?
Hey, what do you think? What do you think of the this thing we did? We saw it in the news. These cheeseburgers at McDonald's. Do you know how they keep them out for a year and nothing changes in the meat or the cheese? What do you think's going on there?
Well, of course, Super Size Me, showed that years ago.
That's right.
Well, here's the deal. The truth is, this is what we're talking about. I mean, here's the Huffington Post headline. Harvard study confirms fluoride reduces IQ in children.
Fluoride.
Absolutely, massively increases bone cancer. But I mean, just getting back to I want to answer that, but should I answer the bin Laden first?
I don't know. We're all over the place.
We're all, there are too many questions on the table.
Go to bin Laden. Is he being eaten by gay shrimp or not?
Well, listen, here's the deal. Dr. Steve Pachinik said on 2002 on my show, and he's a doctor, a medical doctor, not just psychiatrist. He said that bin Laden died of kidney failure and where he died. And even CBS News reported he was at the American Hospital in Dubai dying in 2002. This is what's insane. But that he would be rolled out later by Bush. But see, Walter Cronkite came out before he died. And then Madeleine Albright came out in 2004 during the election, Bush's reelection. And so did Kerry's wife, Heinz. Kerry. They all came out. Look this up, folks, and said...
I can't believe this.
Wait a minute. Let him finish.
Yeah. And listen, I swear to God, you'll have it. Maybe you'll have the video.
Just wrap it up. Wrap it up. I got to hear what you're going to say.
Go ahead.
Well, I'm just giving you sources, so your listeners know this isn't crap.
Okay.
They all came out and said, Dr. Pachinik's right. Bin Laden has been frozen. He's at the Dover Air Force Base, and they're going to roll out. I'm serious.
I'm not laughing because I just felt
they're going to roll out his. I don't blame you for it.
Robin's right in there with you. Don't worry.
They're going to roll out.
No, I just don't believe his death now meant anything.
But listen, here's what I'm saying: because Walter Cronkite and the former Secretary of State Madeleine Albright came out and said Bush don't bring out his body to get reelected. They couldn't do it, so they kept him frozen, and then they had the Navy SEALs go to a house to get the thawed-out dead body, and then they blew up the Navy SEALs when they got on the helicopter so that it wouldn't actually get out. And then 2 weeks later, I talked to one of the Navy SEAls whose buddy died in SEAL Team 6 here in Austin. I talked to him. Remember, 23 of them blew up on the helicopter in Afghanistan. They then blew up the guys so they couldn't tell the truth. And now it turns out no one saw the body thrown off the aircraft
carrier. But who's going to all this trouble?
They
and
fired everybody on the aircraft carrier.
And how are they? And what about this guy who's in the military who just said he's the guy who put the bullet in Bin Laden's head, and he's saying that he can't even get any kind of help in terms of assistance or money from the government. He can't find a job. I mean, he seems pretty legitimate. He put a bullet.
It's all part of the psyop, so it's believable, so you feel sorry for him. Listen, it's all complete, absolute.
Who's behind all of this, Alex? Who is it?
What is this Carlyle group? You mentioned them.
Saudi Arabian major group. That is one of the major controllers of that, right along with the Queen of England, the Saxe-Coburg-Gothas. The Rockefellers are a huge, huge part of it. It is the old mega money that makes their money out of government contracts and monopolies.
I liked Michelle Obama on the Oscars, Alex. I thought I think she's terrific, an excellent representative. She handles herself well.
And her and Bloomberg can now tell us what to eat.
What?
Her and Bloomberg can now tell us what to eat.
Yeah. But wait a minute, Alex. She's more on your side than you know, because she just wants people to be able to eat real food.
I know, but she's only worried about, she says it's calories, and yeah, she talks organic. That's good. Okay, so I'm not saying that that's not a good thing. You're actually right. But listen, I'm not even saying Obama himself is a demon incarnate. He's reading off a teleprompter. Not saying he's not a smart guy, but those guys are so busy. It's a schedule. They're being handled. Listen,
Alex, on your show, do you ever handle anything frivolous? Like, do you like Michelle Obama's bangs, or would you just not even get distracted?
Or do you go to the top 5 or anything?
Right? Yeah. I mean, seriously, do you comment on
Scary Spice?
You do.
Yes.
You feel she was a good choice for America's Got Talent?
Well, I think black women like that are really sexy. So.
Yes. Have you ever slept with a black woman?
Well, I'm not going to talk about it.
Why not?
That and LSD, Alex. He won't.
Alex, what happened to you?
Dallas, Texas.
What happened to you?
I did grow up in a chocolate city. No, listen.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of acid and black women in your past. Do me a favor before I run out of time, Alex. And by the way, Alex is promoting his, of course, Infowars.com and his nightly news program at prisonplanet.tv. Would you take a few phone calls from some of our...
Sure, okay. I will be here as long as you want, but can I answer the hamburger thing?
Yes, go ahead. Yes, hamburger.
Okay. Again, I'm not going to say this on air because it's so outrageous. I want you guys to search it. This is something that predates even the FDA, the Food and Drug Administration. They were allowed, and the big secret in food over the last 100 years, that if you called something a food additive, you could add addictive and toxic things. A lot of things that are toxic, like aspartame, are also addictive, which they now admit it's causing type 2 diabetes. CBS News just last week. So what is McDonald's? It's not just McDonald's. I don't want to just single them out. Just type in one ingredient. McDonald's adds silicone to McNuggets. Now
that's gross. You're talking about silicone.
Well, you never tasted silicone. Silicone's good.
I won't eat that shit.
Well, listen, silicone is a foaming agent. They fry liquid plastic and you eat it. Everybody knows what that does to you. So the truth is, it's so adulterated and designed to be able to sit there for a year so they can still cook it, and so no one can ever get food poisoning. It's been irradiated.
By the way,
so many additives.
You've got to be right about that, because how could a hamburger sit on a shelf for a year and not change? I mean, it's outrageous.
It's mummifying your colon.
Yeah. Well, and why do they do it? Because it's just cheaper, right?
No, they do it because they want to create homes for the shrimp at the bottom of the ocean. They need to mummify your colon for a home so the shrimp can live in them, the gay shrimp.
Isn't the whole plan to kill
Wait a minute, Alex.
In all
I'm listening to you.
I'm trying to understand. Isn't the whole plan, according to you, to eliminate 80% of the population so that this new world order can take over the planet?
Absolutely. You know, you mentioned who's doing it. I have over there on the shelf EcoScience, published 1974, the year I was born, by the current White House science czar, John P. Holdren. Now, it's scanned online for free. Type in EcoScience, John P. Holdren, and he's the current science czar, and he did this for the Rockefeller Foundation, and he says in 74, we need a global government to carry out an orderly population reduction, and he says we need to add chemicals to the food and water to reduce fertility. Now you can argue there's too many people. The point is, folks, yuppies
there are too many people.
But yeah, the yuppies say, okay, get rid of people. Okay, well, who are we going to get rid of? Who are we going to kill? The point is they're hitting us all.
Are you for abortion? I'm for it. I mean, there's so many unwanted children in the way. I know you were crying the other night about children, and you
what was that?
Yeah, what was that, by the way? But
what happened to those children?
But seriously, Alex,
what are we talking about? Who was crying for children?
You. In 2011. I heard a tape.
About?
We played a tape of you crying over some children. I don't know what the hell was going on.
Well, I have actually cried for real sometimes. But listen, here's the issue. On the issue of gay marriage, it should be a state issue, right, as Ron Paul has said, and the state shouldn't even be involved, period. And on the issue of abortion, they carry out abortion for population reduction. And again, I'm going to say it. Margaret Sanger, you can pull up her writings, university writings, scans of the letters in the National Archive, where she said, we're going to pose as liberals so that blacks trust us. We're going to hire black doctors and preachers to sell them on a welfare state, to take over the black community and break up their families so we can abort them. And they abort fully 52% of blacks since Roe v. Wade in this country. So, again, we're talking about blacks.
So you're against abortion or you're for it?
I'm asking people. Okay, I can hear the argument of, it's a woman's right, or she got raped, or whatever, her first trimester.
I'm saying there's too many people on the planet who are unwanted and unloved.
Abortion because those are humans, and they're even aborting people, Howard, up to 9 months. Babies.
9 years.
I'm for 9 years. I got to tell you something. There's so many unloved, unwanted children. And by the way, most people who are for, the abolition of abortion, they don't give to charity, and they don't sit there and take these children.
They're not adopting these children.
They're not adopting these children. Sure. They just want more children. It's a nightmare.
Let me ask you this.
Because once the children get here, who's taking care of them?
Sure. The Journal of Pediatrics last year called for killing kids up to age 3.
Thank you.
Howard, are you serious? Are you going to actually shoot 3-year-olds in the head?
No. I'm not going to do it. We have people who do that. No, I'm for abortion. I'm not for 3-year-olds being killed. I'm for abortion.
No, but here's the deal. Yeah. These are the arguments. And again, there's always arguments for it. You can argue on both sides. The problem is medical tyranny started with abortions, and then it started with the mentally ill, and then it started with the handicapped, and then it went to everybody in a place called Nazi Germany.
Aren't you for amniocentesis? And if the child is Down syndrome or something, aren't you for the abortion?
Well, here's the deal. The state has even been pushing to make people have abortions. Did you see where they made that 9-year-old?
That's not answering the question.
Hey, but what about you? I'm talking about. I mean, amniocentesis, okay? Your wife gets pregnant, you do it, and you find out the kid has horrible birth defects, it's going to have a miserable life, lots of health problems. You would get an abortion, right? I mean, you would advocate that. I would. Why should a child suffer?
But then it's going to be if the child has a cleft lip, and then if they have a club foot.
Well, okay.
No.
We can fix that. Come on. We can fix that.
I don't know. The eugenicists are talking about the government screening stuff and saying if you're aggressive, or they say the child could be mentally ill, and they call being aggressive and loving liberty mentally ill.
Hey, Alex.
Official psychology
well, see,
manuals.
this is where because now you're saying, well, we couldn't trust those people to tell us the truth.
Hey, do you believe in aliens?
Because there is this conspiracy.
We have this guy Riley on it. He believes in aliens. Do you believe in aliens? Do you believe that there is life on other planets?
How would I need a raise? I can't do this voice. Can you play a clip of him? Because if I hear a clip of him, I could actually imitate him. Can I hear one?
Look at her.
Look at here.
But wait a second, Alex.
It's all too easy.
Do you believe in aliens? Do you believe alien life forms were here?
When I left you, I was but the learner. Now I am the master.
All right, take a few. Hey, was your father a dentist?
Conflict. Yes,
Alex, he is. Is he proud of what you're doing, or does he think you're nuts?
My father, who's well-read and studied history, he said, yeah, you're right about a lot of this, but our government's not that bad, and it's going to be okay, and things will work out. That was him 17 years ago. Now he's like, oh, my God, it's all real, it's horrible. And what's really got him freaked out...
He's less trusting now.
But, Alex, are you really getting anything done?
I just want to, listen, it doesn't mean I have all the answers. I just want to get people thinking. I want to get people talking. I want to get people to not be cookie cutters.